What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 40K Cafe, and you got it, our part 3 of the unique Terminators of the Legions coming right up. Starting off with the Ultramarines, we have the Fullmentaris Terminators. These are a group of heavy support Terminators, usually utilizing any kind of heavy fire that the Astartes have at their disposal. And although they are usually used for support, where they actually truly excel is in siege tactics. Gilliman would introduce these kind of Terminators into his legion after adopting the philosophies of the siege warfare from Perturabo. He saw the value of siege warfare from his brother and believed that it needed refinement, and thus created these Terminators. And speaking of the Iron Warriors, let's move on to them. They have what is called the Tyrant Siege Terminators. They serve as the vanguard of any siege-breaking unit and specialize in, again, siege tactics. They were designed and equipped to utilize any kind of weaponry to break any kind of siege walls, and more often than not, their name was used in synonymous with Perturabo's wrath. In typical Iron Warrior fashion, the ones that would be recruited and inducted into these kind of Terminators were said to be the bravest amongst the Legion, as they were required to walk into the fray of the harshest oncoming fire with complete disregard for their own life. Now onto the White Scars and the Keshig Terminators. These would serve as the personal honor guard for both the Primarch Jagatai Khan and the Honorable Chapter Masters, or otherwise known as the Noyan Khans. Although their primary role was to serve as the bodyguards, they also served as the forefront bolstering defenses of any assault. And do not let their size and or armor fool you, for as a typical White Scar, they are faster than your average Space Marine. And lastly, let's talk about the Varagir of the Space Wolves. These served as the personal bodyguards and the personal advisors to Primarch Leman Russ. Wherever the Primarch would go, they were by his side, and they also served as the prototype for what would later become the Wolf Guard in the Second Founding. Originally, the Varagir were comprised of some of the few hundred men that were too old to undergo the Astartes induction process, but those that survived would quickly become the first batch of the Varagir. Leman Russ would eventually have these original Varagir dispersed throughout the Legion. Seeing as they were some of the oldest individuals on Fenris, he wanted their wisdom to be spread out amongst the ranks. And above all else, in typical Space Wolf and Leman Russ fashion, what they loved the most was the thick of battle and humbling those enemies that opposed them. That's it for part 3 of the unique Terminators of the Legions. Make sure to stay tuned for part 4. Thank you as always for listening. Remember to join the Discord, and as always, to follow for more.